The U.S. Department of Labor itself is pointing to a potential food crisis stemming from President Trump's immigration raids, saying in part that the combination of low migrant influx and a more limited legal workforce threatens the stability of domestic food production. So what could this mean for your grocery bills and restaurant tabs? Well, Mireya Villarreal reports now from a family farm in Idaho, caught in the middle of this harvest season, hoping that they have a sufficient number of workers.
We all come on a H-2A visa program, so we come all here legally by the season, just for the season, and then we go back to Mexico. So basically, 90% of the workforce here, it's from Mexico. Oh, what? Well, we usually get like a lot of applications. We're not getting that many now because people is afraid like that even when they're legally here, they're getting like arrested for no reason.
So we're talking immigration. We're on the border, but not the southern border. We're actually on the border between Idaho and Oregon. Out here, it's completely rural, a couple of small towns, but you see these beautiful colors of green and browns, the blue skies. I mean, this is where our produce that ends up on our dinner table, this is where it's grown. And we're actually going to visit a farm today that is a family-owned farm. It has been around for decades, and they're kind of caught up in the middle of this intersection between immigration and agriculture.
So we've got, at peak, we'll have about 300 workers. We have about 82 H-2A workers, and then it just depends on the timing.
Owyhee Produce has transformed into a big family business, passed down through 3 generations. And it's now in the hands of Shay Myers, who not only runs the operation, but has become an advocate for immigration reform because the fight has landed literally in their backyard. Caught in the middle of all of it are the workers.
Menos? Lo cargas. Yeah.
Families he's known for decades.
These guys are able to come from Mexico. We have some from South Africa that are coming this year. They come from other countries. They're given the visa for 8 to 9 months, and they're allowed to stay the entirety of that time. They have to be pre-interviewed and qualified. And then when they come, we provide the airfare or the bus travel, their housing when they get here, and everything really when they're here except for food and clothing. That's part of the requirements that we have to.
That seems like a big cost though, because I mean that's a lot to get a group of workers. Why not just hire people from here?
Yeah, so we would love to hire people from here. The reality is we can't find the numbers of people here. We're in a rural area, number one. Number two, this is hard work. It is difficult work, and there are lots of people that are not willing to do it.
There is a clear directive from the administration that they want mass deportation, right? They want to find people who are not supposed to be here in the country, and they want them out. That is impacting then our labor force. Is that what I'm understanding?
It's absolutely impacting the labor force, and the president said so himself. He said the aggressive raids are hurting our farmers. Nationwide, the USDA's Ag Labor Survey suggests that somewhere between 50 and 60% of our farm labor workforce is undocumented immigrants. And if that's the case, if we were to deport them all overnight, then that's 60% of the workforce, meaning that's 60% of the supply that's not being met without a shift in demand. And I think anybody that understands economics knows that that means higher prices for them at the grocery store. The industries that I mentioned are all particularly reliant on immigrant labor. And so for those industries in this moment and in this political climate, their concerns are making sure that their immigrant workforce can be here long term and have proper work authorization.
Even the Labor Department points to a potential food crisis stemming from these immigration raids, saying in part that the combination of low migrant influx and no available legal workforce threatens the availability of domestic food production and prices for U.S. consumers.
With new storage technology, this farm can have onions year-round. I mean, take a look at how many are right behind me. But here's the deal. In order to get these onions to you, your family, your dinner table, they need more workers, which means they're absolutely relying on migrant work, just like industries like construction, manufacturing, and even hospitality.
This will be the size of a super. So the light is always taking pictures. We have 6 cameras.
Originally from Pueblo, Mexico, Ileana started in the fields as a seasonal worker almost 20 years ago, working her way up while providing for her family.
I knew from the beginning that I was in a country that offers you opportunities for whoever wants to take it. And then I started going to school. And then I was able to get my green card. And then I went back to school to get my GED diploma. I got it in probably 6 months. But it was like after here, going after work, I was like dirty with my pants dirty. And I was like, I'm sorry guys if I smell bad, but I need to learn.
That need to learn pushed Ileana into a local college to learn more about the technical side of the business with Shay's support.
I remember Shay giving me a bunch of books, like you have to read that, you have to study for that. So I started learning management.
Farms like this one are closely monitored and regulated by several federal agencies that have strict policies on who comes into the country to work and how long they can stay.
For Homeland Security, we have a search warrant for the whole site.
With the Trump administration's aggressive approach to immigration and mass deportation, raids happening in the fields, visa holders held up at the border, workers are hard to come by. Over the last few months, tariffs and raids have put farms and manufacturing plants on a target list, most fearful of being deported even if they're here legally with a visa. Ileana is studying to become a U.S. citizen and mentoring other workers to follow in her footsteps.
I think it's like leaving a legacy.
But the reality is not everyone is as lucky as Ileana. At least 3 bills have been filed by Republicans and Democrats acknowledging the growing problem of a limited domestic workforce and a reliance on migrant labor. But after more than a decade of advocating for change, Shay worries this may be another can that gets kicked down the road.
You are literally putting yourself out there for change, reform, all the things, but also because it seems like you have a relationship with the people who are working here with you. Why put yourself out there in this way?
Because it's wrong not to, right? I have a voice, I have reach, I have people that will listen. And because I'm a conservative and a Republican, people assume that I would have a different perspective here. And this is my reality. And I love these people. I love the culture. I love the effort that they make, and ethically to continue to not fix this problem is absolutely completely wrong. The ethics are wrong. We as Americans try to do the right thing. Let's do the right thing.